Cheers. I raise a glass to you on our final day of the 5-day Gratefulness Challenge. You did it. You put your mind to something and you did it. 5 days ago, you didn't have any idea what to expect. But something caught your interest. Something about living in a world that's more positive, more forgiving, a world where you see the light even in the darkness. That's where you began, and now you have tools. Maybe you showed up with a empty tool belt. Maybe you showed up with a flathead screwdriver and a hammer, claw hammer, that's it. And now you've got a tool belt. Now the key, and we're not done yet, we're going to add one more piece to make sure you have a full tool belt that you can put into use each and every day to see the light throughout the darkness, to live with a smile. Remember, part of our mission is to eliminate unhappiness. Part of our mission is to live in a world fueled with positivity. Part of our mission is to build community near and far. And part of our mission is to allow health to thrive. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritual, you name it. We're all in, right? We take that big idea and we chip away every single day. Every single day. So once again, Prost, salud, cheers to each and every one of you. Welcome to day 5 of the Gratefulness Challenge. So you're here. Thank you for being here. I woke up today to record today, and I'm more fired up today because one of the best ways to learn is by teaching. And on day 1, I challenged you to be a noticer, to notice the world around you, to feel the wind on your face, to feel the sun on your body, to hear the dogs bark, to smile when you see kids playing, to notice something in your neighborhood that you've never noticed before, or maybe at work. Because we always say the last one to discover water is a fish. So when you walk that same path every day, you drive that same route every day, we tend to not see it. So the next time you enter a building, go to the left. It's probably not something you normally do. You go to a big event, you go to the left, there'll be less people. And you'll see the world a little differently. When my dog Dodger and the 10 lessons that she taught us, right? If you haven't caught that, go back to 5 days, 5 stories and catch that. But we go out our front door. We always take a left because the street dead ends. But then we come to a T in the road. And we can go right or we can go left. And probably 80% of the time we go to the right. And she'll kind of push me that way. But every now and then, together we choose to see the neighborhood differently. To become noticers of things that are different. So what are you noticing more now today than you did yesterday? What can you continue to see more of? What can you experience? What can you take joy in? Be a noticer. Remember, thank you, 2 simple words. They're not just for when somebody hands you something or gives you something. They're to say thank you in every opportunity you have. Thank you to the kids for cleaning up the room. Thank you to whomever's at your dinner table and clearing their plate and putting it in the sink or the dishwasher, right? Thank you for whoever made you the meal. Thank you to the butcher who cut you the meat. Thank you to the person that let you pull out from the coffee shop. Thank you. Thank you for the person that sped by you and didn't hit you. And you know what? You didn't lose your shit. You just were like, hey, maybe he or she just needs to get somewhere faster than you do. So it changes your perception. It changes where you are and how you feel. Did you buy the journal? I know I kind of went out of order, but it doesn't matter. Did you buy the journal? Did you find an old journal? Did you staple some papers together? Are you writing down things that you noticed that you can say thank you for? And can you use your gratitude affirmations of what you have today at the moment? So I woke up this morning and I looked over. My wife was asleep. I'm grateful that she's there, right? I'm grateful that my dogs are ready to rock and roll and go every single morning. Every day, they're ready to go. They greet the day with so much excitement that I want to capture that and put it in a bottle. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for another breath. You know, my dad was really sick, and he was paraplegic, and he was paralyzed from T4 down about right around your shoulder blades, and he couldn't walk. He could use his arms. It was harder for him to breathe because that's right about where your diaphragm sits. At that time, while he was battling for his life, I decided to run a marathon to prove to myself that I could walk 26.2 miles, whether it took me 4 hours or 6 hours or 7 hours, it didn't matter. I had the physical ability to do it. And I guarantee you my dad would have given anything just to walk across the room. So I don't take that for granted. I challenge you to not take your health for granted and to put that on your list of things you're grateful for today. Because life is a temporary experience. I'm also grateful for the ability, for the future, when I rock, when I try to eat right, when I drink my water, when I sleep, for my future health. I'm grateful for the future connections of you, for you to be able to come into our world and become a trailblazer, right? I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So there is the ability, there's a link up above to apply to work together. And I'm going to open up a few VIP elite experiences for those that have been watching this. And the way to get most of the information, so we can talk about positivity, community, what your transformation looks like, what do you want really, it's all about what you want your future to look like, that you can be grateful for your health, your happiness, and prosperity. If that speaks to you, just apply. There's a few questions, and I will personally reach out to you and learn more and share more how to ultimately join the VIP Elite experience. It's epic and is life-changing. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to meet you, and I haven't met you yet. Okay, my friends, it is time to dig in to number 5. It is the silver lining. The silver lining behind all of this. It is really why one of the very first challenges that I have for any client is to start with gratitude. Now understand, a goal is personal. They are yours. They are not mine. They're not your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your tia, or your tio. They are yours. But a coach's challenge is my expectation of you. And that's why we start with gratitude. That's why the challenge is to start in our community to share a yay for the day every day. That's right. 365 days a year is the challenge. Now, most of us are going to miss every now and then, and that's okay. In reality, you'll be taught and coached that we believe that if you do things 4 out of 7 days, whatever your wins are, you've won the week. When you piece them together and you do 3 weeks out of 4, then you've won the month. When you then habit stack and you do it again and again and again, when you do it 8 weeks, 8 months out of 12, you've won the year. I don't know about you, but I did not make all A's in school. I did not make 100%. I still got to walk the stage in both my high school and college graduation. And I bet you did too. I have a really good friend that served in the United States Air Force for 26 years. And he got recycled in basic training. I mean, he got sent back X number of weeks for some infraction. Then he went off to tech schools where you learn your job, what you're going to do in the military, and he got recycled again. And guess what? He retired after 26 years. Because you just have to keep trying. That's what it's all about, right? So we start with gratitude. We start with gratitude. And by seeing the silver lining, by doing and using the tools that you've learned this week, you can always see the silver lining. So I have a quote in here. Rabbi Kushner said, if you concentrate on finding whatever is good in every situation, you will discover that your life will suddenly be filled with gratitude, a feeling that nurtures the soul. I completely believe that. If you look at all the darkness in the world, your world will be pretty dark. If you look for and notice and journal and say thank you and do your gratitude affirmation for what you have and what you will have, the world will be a more positive place. It will not be perfect. There will be dark moments, but you will find more good than you do bad. Or whatever, dark and light, however yin and yang, however you want to say that. It's huge. It is absolutely huge. So let's talk about finding the silver lining when things don't always go right. What's the lesson you can learn from the situation? We'll use sports, right? So if I get up to the plate in baseball or softball and I strike out, I can throw my bat. I can pout to the dugout. Or I can go back and talk to my coach, talk to my teammates, and talk about what the pitcher is throwing and where I can stand in the batter's box, where I can put my hands on the bat. So you can learn from it. If you don't get a job you applied for, what skills do you need? Or how did you not present yourself at the interview to be the candidate that gets offered the job? If you want to run a marathon in a certain amount of time and you don't quite make it, what training do you need to do in order to get there? What can you learn? Always be learning. ABL. We'll call it ABL. Always be learning. What good came out of that challenge? Now, I guarantee you, even if it's not perfect, and remember I said the other day, the person that started this challenge on day one is not the same that's finishing it today. So what good comes out of something that didn't go the way you think? Well, your resiliency muscle is flexed. Your bounce back ability is flexed. So you learn you're able to do hard things. It's something that we teach over and over and over in the Trailblazer Nation. Because the world ultimately is for triers. You know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. I couldn't reiterate that. I couldn't have said it better, so I'm going to say it to you over and over again. But what lessons did you learn? And what good can come out of it so you can be a better person, so you can be healthier, happier, more prosperous, so you can surround yourself with positivity, community, and improve your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health, and ultimately eliminate unhappiness in yourself and others. How can the difficulty actually make you a better person? Exactly what I said. So we can pout about it, mope about it, whatever. I'll share a story. Many years ago, I applied to be the Global Wellness Director for Apple. I was like, that's kind of a badass title. I'm going to apply. Because you never get the job you don't apply for. Well, guess what? Bring. Hello, Mr. Boyle. We'd like to follow up on your application. So I was in Texas at the time. Obviously, their headquarters is in California. And we did an interview over the phone. And I got it. I was like, yes. Like, I felt like I crushed that. I could answer the questions. It was right in my wheelhouse. And that's out of my control. I got another call. Another phone interview. They ratcheted up the food chain. Once again, I feel like, man, I really did well on that interview. I started telling people I'm moving to California. I had kids or adults. I was literally going to sell all my crap, keep a coffee mug, take my dog, and we were going to go. So they call and they say, okay, I have a third interview. I ask if I'm going to interview with an individual or a group so I can do research on who I'm going to interview with. I call my sister, tell her who I'm interviewing with. I said, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. I didn't even know who it was really by name. She did. So I start getting prepared, and 24 hours before the interview, they call like, Mr. Bull, we want to thank you so much, but we've decided to hire from within at this time. I was like, that sucks. So I literally gave myself a 24-hour pity party. 24 hours. It was okay to be a little sad, because it would have been kind of badass. But as I sat there and I thought about it, I was like, they took a small town kid's resume and plucked it out of, I don't know whether I was the only one to apply or tens of thousands of people applied. I don't have any idea. But it was at that moment I felt like there was something bigger than what I was currently doing. I decided to resign. I started Dane Boyle Coaching, and here we are over a decade later, still doing it, reaching out globally now to ultimately, again, build community through positivity, make sure health thrives, and make sure that we eliminate happiness. So something that at that moment felt negative really has led into something great and allows me to work anywhere in the world with people of any background, anywhere. And that's really part of the VIP Elite experience, is that location is not a boundary. Currently, off the top of my head, I know we've got trailblazers in Kentucky, Kansas, Oklahoma, Idaho, just to name a few, Texas. So 5 states off the top of my head. Oh, Mexico too. So imagine that. It does not matter. All we have to do is adjust for the time differences. That's it. Will what happened matter in 5 years? If it won't, let it go. Let it go. And I get it. It may not be easy at the moment, but literally learn to let it go. 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 So that's how you can find a silver lining in every single thing that happens, which allows you to live in gratitude. You know what? It didn't work out exactly the way I thought. I can guarantee being an entrepreneur has not worked out exactly the way I thought. Not even remotely close. But every time that it doesn't go the way I thought it was going to go, I learn and learn and learn and sit down and journal and think about what and notice things that happen and be thankful for it. And then affirmations like I'm grateful for what I have today, but I'm even more grateful for what I'll have tomorrow. So my question is for you. What is your biggest takeaway? What has been your biggest takeaway in the last 5 days? I would love you to comment below. I would love you to be able to go back and watch day 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or just listen and start to think and start to process it. I want to share the quote again. Then I'm going to give you a couple things. I haven't said subscribe today, so if you haven't subscribed by now, please subscribe. But remember this quote: if you concentrate on finding whatever is good in every situation, you will discover that your life will suddenly be filled with gratitude, a feeling that nurtures the soul. And for me, it nurtures the soul, and gratitude and positivity are 2 of my top 10 values. Something that we will work on in the VIP Elite Experience. Things we're going to work on. What brings you joy? What are your values? What are your non-negotiables in life? The 3 things without your days, weeks, months, and years would be incomplete. Then together we're going to cast a vivid vision for your future. At a minimum, that foundation, the 5 F's, family, friends, fitness, finances, and faith. As soon as we get through those, or while we get through them, we're going to push forward and make sure we improve your health, your physical health. Build the community. Build positivity. Shroud you with great people in a good way, and ultimately help you eliminate any unhappiness in your soul and spread happiness and joy. If that speaks to you, I'm going to open up 3 VIP Elite experiences just for this group that followed along. I'll know when you fill out the application if you're in that particular group, and especially because it'll be on the conversation. All right, my friends, be a noticer. Write in your journal. Say thank you more times than you ever thought you could or would. Say those, I am grateful for X. I will be grateful for Y, right? Every day. Set aside just a few minutes and find the silver lining in everything that you do. What lessons did you learn? Why was this? What was a good thing that came out of the challenge? And will it matter 5 years from today? If you do that, you ultimately will live a healthier, happier, more prosperous life. All right. Be sure to tell those you love them, and never assume they know. And for the 5th day in a row, your 5th friend or family member or coworker, text them today. Expect absolutely nothing in return. Until next time, go be amazing. I'm grateful for each and every one of you, and thank you for your time. Let me know your biggest takeaway.